Hey everyone, Brendan Sander here. How are you? Thanks so much for joining me and welcome to this very special Scores from the Record Store episode. It is a birthday edition. My birthday on July 22nd. So what did I do? Of course, the most fun thing that I can do is I hit up a record store and I made tremendous big scores. I purchased a lot of stuff. I kind of treated myself. I bought some things that I had been eyeing for a while. So I've got some records, some shirts, some CDs, and some box sets, all a bunch of cool stuff to run through with you guys. So we're going to do that here in just a bit. But of course, before we get started, if you're new to my channel and you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please do. I like to keep you guys up to date on everything, and that's how you're going to be able to do it. Make sure to turn on notifications so that you can get reminded of very cool episodes. Even this one right here, where I'm going to go through a lot of cool stuff because, hey, you never know what's going to happen. And so, all right, I'm gonna actually start with the red bag. This one has the stuff that I love. This is sort of the CDs and the things of that nature in here. So first thing I picked up is a box set that I've kind of eyed for a while. And I only had the single disc edition of this, but now I've got the full box set. So Whitesnake Unzipped. This is their acoustic box set collection. All the times they've ever done acoustic things. So it has, let's see, 5 CDs, a DVD, it's got a book in it, other cool stuff. But you could buy by itself the CD unzipped in its studio renditions of ballads and things like that. But it had Starkers in Tokyo from 1997, where it was David Coverdale, Adrian Vandenberg on an acoustic guitar, just the two of them running through a bunch of songs. They later did a whole bunch of different one-off things in Europe, and those are collected up. And then they've got a bunch of rehearsal stuff that they did where they would play acoustic, and this up close and personal acoustic demo ideas. So I'm really excited about that. Bunches of the titles on here I've never heard of, so I'm thinking that's some good unreleased stuff. And then the 6th disc, being the DVD's, got videos and footage and stuff like that on here. So very, very cool to get a hold of that. This next one here is actually one Anthony got and saved for me, a Led Zeppelin box set. And it's got all the albums in it. Now, I own the albums, so that's not really what's cool about this. But first thing is, they're all Japanese, so that's awesome. But it has the original and very rare pressings of stuff like this with the blue logo and things like that. But what they also give you in this is, if I can find it real quick, there you go, the, what it became, the orange copy, right? So you get the different sleeves. I could slide everything out and put it in this one here. You get all the other albums in here, and this one, which is die cut. You get this one with the paper strip that goes around it, and physical graffiti, and it's die cut. You get the little paper, sticker piece that's there, the paper bag, like all the different little special things that were on the vinyl versions have been recreated here. Okay, that's not the coolest thing. The reason that in the end of the day I decided to pick this up, I gotta find the right album. What did I do with it? All right, it took me a minute to find that there, but the In Through the Outdoor, the paper sleeve, right? But behind this are variations of these covers. Sorry, there we go. There was 5 versions of that album cover. And these are the other variations of the albums, and they give you every single one of them. They're just the cardboard sleeves, so I can trade out the one that comes in here for the one that, that you like, or just in this case, you've now collected every single album cover of that. And I thought that was really cool to be able to have the alternate editions of these albums themselves. And like I said, they're all the Japanese edition. So on top of that, very cool. And it's in this slipcase style box like that. So 2 box sets like that to have. But of course, I also picked up some CDs. Now, this first one I'm going to show you here was a new release. And then had this on order. This is the brand new Paul Diano Warhorse, but it was back ordered for like a week. I don't know why, but Anthony got the copy in, and so I got it from him. That was very cool. With the brand new Mr. Big album that had just come out, I realized I did not have this release, a Japanese album called Raw Like Sushi. It was volume 1. They've done a lot of them that are called Raw Like Sushi 2, 3, 4, and so forth. This was an EP, a 6-song live album released in Japan on Atlantic Records, and it was recorded on their opening slot when they were opening up for Rush on the Presto tour, which, man, that would have been so cool to have seen. I think some of you guys mentioned to me that you had seen that tour, and that's very, very cool. I found the first Angel album on Rock Candy Records as a reissue. I have this, but not one of these. And all my other albums from Angel were Rock Candy Records, so I want to replace that and have that. I have a paper sleeve of this one, but I've never seen it in just a jewel case version of it. And I finally found it. This is Rod Stewart. And I believe this was just called a self-titled album. I don't know that it actually had a name to it. I can't recall. There's no name on the front of this, and there's no name on the spine, but this particular album, for whatever reason, this was a late 80s, actually 86 it says, album. And I really, really enjoyed this one, although I don't know that any of the songs that are on here were big hits or anything like that, because I didn't know them. But like I said, so I'd have one of those like, 5 paper sleeves in a little box kind of thing. And it was to get albums like this that aren't in print anymore. But I found a jewel case copy, so I'm very happy about that. I'd recently gotten into the Yardbirds, and I just saw this past Friday that they had reissued their second album, which was the first for the US, For Your Love. And looking back at that, and I saw, debut album 5 Live, and all the Yardbird stuff, for whatever reason, seems to be hard to come by. But going through the used stuff, I found it, so I now finally have that. Very happy about that. And then I found this, a Steve Hackett live album from 1992. I always liked the high production level albums when they were in big arenas or things like that. And so any of the albums out of the 80s and very early 90s like that, I do love. I know I talk all the time and say I hate live albums. I'm just generalizing at that point. There's some live albums I do love. And I just also enjoy sometimes getting a live album that covers a particular period of time that I like by the artist. So found that. That was a cool find to have. And then I found this one, Country Joe McDonald, from Country Joe and the Fish from the 60s, right? They played Woodstock. This is called Child's Play. And it's an album from, I think, like 1989 or so. Or no, this is like the early 80s. This is like maybe 1980. So I don't know. I actually have seen Country Joe play. He opened up for Jefferson Starship back in the 2010s maybe. I saw him at one of those like dinner theater kind of places where you can eat and watch a show. And I don't remember anything special about it, but I have seen the guy. But I've been wanting to get into his stuff. So every so often I would try something, I would check something. And nothing ever really clicked for me, but this later stuff, I enjoyed that. Then I checked this out, and I found this album and really enjoyed this from '89. So that was a cool thing. It's just called Classics. I don't know if this is a greatest hits or not because, like I said, I saw that it was from 1989 and it was listed as just like a regular album, at least how it was shown, where I was checking it out. I'll get into more of it later on, but I did listen to it. I enjoyed it, so I picked up 2 Country Joe McDonald albums, not with the Fish, and I may one day get back to that 60s era stuff, but those were the CD things I picked up. But I also picked up some vinyl, and I got these 2 shirts. Now, this first one I think you guys are gonna dig, especially you glam metal fans out there. Trickster, man, here, an original shirt. How cool is that? From back in the day, doesn't even look like it was ever worn. This one here actually coming from Anthony's personal collection. He was putting it out in the store, and I said, no way, man, I'm taking that. But then this was a brand new one that the store just got in as well. You guys know he is a big Blondie fan, but me too. I like Blondie a lot, and I just thought that was a killer shirt. I've got another Blondie shirt, but it's very hard to tell that it's even her. Her face is so big, and it says Blondie down low, so it gets cut off. You guys don't get to see it. And I saw this, and I said, this will be great. This, you guys will know I'm wearing Blondie when I'm wearing Blondie, and it's a gray shirt. I've kind of decided, other than this one here, I'm no longer going to wear or buy, not wear, I'm no longer going to buy black shirts. Because you guys know I have a cat, Noodle, and I love my cat dearly, but man, cat hair on rock shirts just do not work. And when they're not black, it doesn't show up as much and or it doesn't stick for some reason. So I've been going gray and red and basically any other color that I can find in rock shirts, just for that reason. All right, I also got a couple records. Like I said, man, I really treated myself. And this one in particular, one I'd been staring at for some time, and I would always put it back because I wanted to buy something else instead. And I finally just said, screw it, man, I'm gonna buy it. You know, it's my birthday. So I bought this. This was a record store day only release from 2017 called Rarities from Stevie Nicks, of course, of Fleetwood Mac. It's got only 6 tracks on it, but it fills out to a full album length. It's got Belladonna Demo, Edge of 17 an early take, After the Glitter Fades, a live version from 81, Wild Heart, a session take, and Anthony tells me it's worth it for that one alone. Blue Lamp from the Heavy Metal soundtrack, and Sleeping Angel from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Now, all this stuff I have on CD, so it's not that I'm getting it new, I've not heard this or something, but I like that this is an album, it's a release, it's sequenced the way that it is, and I want that. If they ever put this on CD, I would buy it, because the outtakes, the demos, the live, that's not on the Stevie Nicks box set of Rarities. Those 2 discs that are in there have some of the other stuff like Blue Lamp and Sleeping Angel, but you know, it's not all mixed together like this, so I thought that was pretty cool, and I wanted it. And it's one of those ones, it's like it's never gonna come back because it's from 2017. So I mean, at this point, that's 7 years old already. And then I just bought this for pure nostalgia reasons. Twisted Sister Come Out and Play album. It's not even their best. Personally, I think the best album is Love is for Suckers, which I know a lot of people don't like. It's a very glam metal album, and it was really more of a Dee Snider solo album than a band album. But I do love that album. And I love this album too. Of course, Stay Hungry is probably their most popular. This is because of the die cut on this. And if you can see already, it's already opening a bit. So this lifted up to show Dee Snider. It has never been bent. It's never been creased. So I just saw this and I just said, wow, man, the condition of this, I've got to get it. I've got to have it in the collection just simply because of what it is. I had one of these back in the day, and of course I lifted the top and played it and looked at it and loved it and everything. And I don't know where my copy is. Maybe it's somewhere here, who knows, but I do know that I now have a really good, pristine copy of it for the collection. So I'm very excited about that. But, you know, getting a couple records, getting the shirts, getting this killer Led Zeppelin box. I've been on a White Snake thing for a while. You've seen some things pop up that I've been purchasing from that. But all in all, just very cool. So going to your birthday on a record store, or going to your birthday on a record store, what am I thinking? I can't even talk. I've got music on the brain. Going to a record store on your birthday, that has been something I've done since I was a little kid. You know, your birthday, you can do whatever you want kind of a thing. My mom always let me pick and choose. My brothers would go see a movie or, you know, something like that. My sister might want to go to the mall. You know, I wanted to go to a record store. And to this day, that is still the same thing I do on my birthday every year. Doesn't matter how many times I go to the record stores. You guys know, because I film events going to the record stores and stuff. But that is my happy thing, and it still makes me feel so good, and I get such joy out of it that that's where I like to spend my day. I go there and I just hang out, and I find cool stuff, and I chat with Anthony and people that come in the store, and it is the best. I don't think there's anything that will ever top my love, my joy of going to a record store. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this particular episode of my scores from the record store and what scores they were. And certainly leave your thoughts, leave your comments. Let me know what you like to do on your birthday. That would be an interesting topic. I may have to do one in a broader stroke thing with Anthony sometime as a discussion. But all in all, there you go. That's what I got. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care, and I'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye, everyone.